Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she's never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, because they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentle way.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive pardon, whether he can issue The president's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would
can't?
Be a gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse. A presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, J.B. Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, J.B. Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt. Or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jimmy
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he
about
get a
this.
pardon also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that committee?
The seeking of pardons is...
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. You're going to condemn that pardon.
You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people. Commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One who... in fact, one drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators thinking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Diablo, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
End of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
Hello, hello, hello. What the hell was that? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where someone in that stream by that Indian Jesus guy said, this guy sounds like AM radio. Which I thought, well, you know, I have dabbled in AM radio, but I'm not AM radio. I actually got to go on a show with my friend Wu, also known as Now What Studios here. She had me as a guest on a show that she did once a week here in the Twin Cities at a conservative radio station. And that was fun. It was mostly about me, and I was a little shy because I wasn't used to microphones and stuff. This was long before I started doing this show. And now, if I did it now, I'd be all like, hey, what's up? Yeah, let's talk. I can talk into a mic like this because I know that I can just talk into the mic and whatever. I didn't know how to use a microphone in a studio like that. It was pretty intense for me at the time. Now it's like old home. Anyway, hey, how you doing? As you know, I'm gonna be going on vacation after this show. Well, not till Monday, but you know, and that's why the distraction pictures are up there on the left. But there's some news about Apple, which is the news about Apple seems to be a distraction too. And you're curious how that it's going to actually affect people. But boy, the lefties are just pissed off about it, and we'll get to that and more as we go through the show. Plus, it's Friday Q&A. Oh, I should probably make a Q&A box, huh? That would be brilliant, now wouldn't it? Okay, let me make a Friday Q&A box because it is Friday. That's what we do on Fridays. And then we'll say hi to everybody and we'll get it going. So let me figure out what the hell I'm doing here. Okay, there we go. There's a plus sign and hit the start of Q&A. Friday Q&A. Ask me anything. And you know, as you know, anything around these parts truly means anything. That doesn't mean I'm going to answer everything. I might sidestep the question. I might, you know, mumble some rambling BS like which you should say, oh, what's new to that? But anyway, yeah, so Friday Q&A, the question box is available at the top of the chat. Also, if you haven't shared the show, I'd appreciate it if you did. Let people know that we're here. Thank you, AD, for putting the 3 spacers. That's perfect. Because, you know, the show's dwindling lately, and maybe I'm just a boring guy. I don't know, but it's been light on people here. Maybe I should, you know, I always say, oh, I should have some guests and whatever. I should do that, but you know, if I'm maybe I'm just boring. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let's say hi to everybody and get the show started. There's some news. There's articles open. There's stuff to do, and we have Friday Q&A. So let's get it started. First in the chat today. Well, I mean, is it a surprise? It is, of course, Mr. Avocados Diabli. Uh-oh, what happened there? Avocados Diabli. Ah, there we go. Who gets the bell? Who gets the bell? Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, Somnambule Nation, Episkipo's Hellsong's back. Nice to have you back. Your rare appearances are greatly appreciated. On the honorable mention list of favorite Canadians, Special Can Asset is here. Also, good morning, Attack Alpaca. And I'm going to scroll a little bit here. My favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony. Don't be disparaged, though, Special K. You are on my honorable mention list of favorite Canadians. Annalyn is here. Anonymity. T2 Albibak is here. Somnambule Nation. I said that already. And Willie is at the show. Oh, my God. I just saw the first question. So anyway, yeah, there's stuff going on in the world and things trending and stuff. So we'll do that. But of course, I like to thank the people who help make this show grow. So the people who are sharing the show, who are greatly appreciated. For example, Somnable Nation dropped their own little post here, which I appreciate, which I will repost. Mike Savage with the Let Us Go. If you haven't, well, I suppose that includes everybody. If you haven't done, click that link at the top. If you share the show streams, whatever link up there, and done a Let's Go, what are you doing? What is this something new? Do I have to ask you every day? Come on, people, do something. Anyway, so thanks to the people who do that. And Somnable Nation also reposted my post of the show. I greatly appreciate it. So there you go. Also, good morning. Just in Mr. the Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich. Not to be confused. What the hell? Shut that down. Not to be confused with the zombies. As I learned something the other day when I looked that up. They're not zombies. They're just undead. With undead and dangerous, I guess, just because they're sentient. Is that the word? Sentient? I almost said sentient. Well, more sentient than Joseph Rahim Biden. All right. Today, this weekend is obviously Memorial Day weekend. I highly encourage you to think about why we do what we do and how we are able to survive as a nation, because many people gave the ultimate sacrifice for our way of life and freedom, and unfortunately, sometimes not other stupid shit, but we do appreciate everyone who has served our country and who have passed either. Look, I know it's for people. Memorial Day technically is for people who died as part of service, but also if they've served and came home and raised family, like my father, we still think of Memorial Day as part of his holiday because he served this nation as an Army field medic in Korea, and we appreciate that. He helped a lot of guys make it home that might not have. So honor those who have served. So someone here says today marks the beginning, of the long weekend as we approach one of our most hallowed days. Memorial Day reminds us to remember the fallen, those who have gave the ultimate sacrifice and paid the ultimate price to guarantee our freedoms. They died for their country, for their beliefs, for their honor, and for the men beside them. Honor their memory and always strive to be worthy of them. We stand on the shoulders of giants. For me, it's time for the yearly pilgrimage to visit too many old friends and brothers in Arlington. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. Get smarter, get tougher, get fitter, get networked, get outside, and check on your people, especially those you don't think need it. Have a great weekend. Dismissed. That's a good message from somebody named Chesty Puller GST. I'm concerned about the name, but still, the message is solid. So, honor those who have fallen on Memorial Day, but also not just those who've fallen. It's Friday, Red Friday, and a lot of people wear red on Red Friday, but basically red is an acronym for Remember Everyone Deployed. A lot of people wear red on Fridays. So, for example, this lady here says, "Good morning, Patriots, TGIF. Today is Red Friday, the day we honor all our troops still deployed. Monday is Memorial Day, the day we honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms we enjoy today. God bless our military, and God bless Trump." Okay, well, and also anyone who, look, as much as I have disdain for many of the people in Congress, they are taking the time to serve their nation in some way or another. Some of them serve themselves, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'll wait for Maroon Monday. Okay, well, red stands for Remember Everyone Deployed, so there you go. A lot of people putting stuff about Red Friday, though, too. I'm not going to scroll through that. Other holidays today on the holiday calendar, it is World Turtle Day. So, and for some reason, they have this beautiful sea turtle. Oh man, that was one of the coolest things when my wife and I went to Hawaii for our 30th anniversary, going to the black sand beach and seeing the sea turtles just sunning in the beach and, coming up there and going back and forth into the water. That was cool. So happy World Turtle Day. Also National Drinking with Chickens Day. What the hell is that? They'll make anything a holiday. National Lucky Penny Day, National Taffy Day. Love me some taffy. National Road Trip Day. Ooh, road trips. Because it's Memorial Day weekend. We did a road trip. What was it? 3 Memorial Days ago, or three Memorial Days. 3 years ago, where Lady Boomer and I drove to. Where did we go? Oh, we went to Mackinac City, Michigan. Never been to the Upper Peninsula, and spent a day in Mackinac City. Spent a day on the island, Mackinac Island, which is an island that has no motorized vehicles. We rented a horse and buggy and rode around in a horse and buggy that day, and it's a cute little town. And it's Memorial Day weekend's a little early in the season for being there. But the cool thing was on Sunday night. Our hotel, first of all, was right on, is it Lake Huron? Lake Huron, yeah. It was right on the water, and directly out in the water from our hotel, there was a platform that they shot fireworks. They had a fireworks show. It was really fun having that happen. And it was really cheap because it's not the high season for being in Upper Michigan, Northern Michigan. So that was cool. And then when we came back, we drove farther north to the shore of basically Lake Superior, and drove all the way back to Duluth, Minnesota, along the shore of Lake Michigan. Stopped in a couple places that looked really cool. Menacing, Michigan has Pictured Rock National Shoreline? I think it's called Pictured Rock. It's not Painted Rock. It's Pictured Rock. Yeah. Which we want to go back to. That looked cool as hell. That was just beautiful. So anyway, that was our road trip. I don't know why I spent so much time on my road trip, but that was one of our greatest road trip ever, over 3 days. Oh, we also stopped at Green Bay, Wisconsin to see Lambeau Field, which we had never seen on the way there because we drove along the shore of Lake Michigan from Lambeau all the way around. That was a cool trip. I love road trips. Anyway, they do allow snowmobiles in winter, I believe. I don't think they do. No motorized vehicles at all. National Drinking Chickens Day is when you celebrate some sort of chicken soup. No, it's not. It says National Drinking with Chickens Day. Get ready to cluck and sip on National Drinking with Chickens Day. Enjoy a fun day of drinks, games, and feathered friends. I don't get it. I thought it was like a chicken soup thing, but it's not. National Ethan Day. If your name is Ethan, today's your day. World Crohn's and Colitis Day. I think should be Awareness Day because we're not trying to strive to have Crohn's and colitis. Anyway, and then International Day to End Obstetric Fistula. I'm not going to even ask. Hello, JB. What up, JB? Welcome to the show. Yeah. Anyway, all right, there you go. There's the holidays. And looks like we got more people here. We have 16 people, 7 likes. Hit the like button. Get that ratio corrected. Yeah, I was visiting someone generous. That was the first thing that came to mind. I knew someone would make that joke, so I decided to let you do it. Celebrity birthday today. Oh, yes. The one and only Mr. Clint Eastwood turns 93 today. Happy birthday, Clint Eastwood. Looking a little ragged there, but he's 93 years old. What the fuck do you expect? One of the great, interesting character actors, mostly known for Dirty Harry and the Western movies that he used to do. There's a young Clint Eastwood. That's one for the ladies, back when Clint was a heartthrob. I don't know what this movie's from. Tom Cruise isn't the only actor who likes to do crazy shit on screen. Check out Clint Eastwood in the Iger Sanction, discussed in my 50th anniversary review. Did he do his own stunt, or is that looks like a painted scene? Oh no, looks like that doesn't look real. He looks like he's standing on something there. Anyway, great character actor and great American, Clint Eastwood. So happy birthday, Clint Eastwood. Let's see here. someone named Lucy Connolly is trending. And I hadn't really heard much about this story. Apparently, Lucy Connolly is a woman over in the UK who just got sentenced to a 31-month prison sentence. Can you guess why? Think UK first. Think UK. And why would someone in the UK be sentenced to 31 months in prison? Is Lucy Connolly an American? Okay, did anyone figure it out yet? Drowned a baby, blasphemy, no. Blasphemy laws, no, not quite. But you're in the ballpark. She got 31 months. Yes, Mike Savage, for a spicy tweet. And I hadn't even heard about this. Here's Piers Morgan, who wrote about it. Lucy Connolly's tweet below was despicable and clearly an incitement to violence of the kind that then happened, but she deleted it within 4 hours and expressed remorse. For her to get a 31-month prison sentence for posting it is a ridiculous overreach by our justice system. Now, is this in, I don't know if this is in the US or if this is in, is it in the UK? Anyway, here's what people are saying about this. This is crazy. Now, breaking the imprisonment of Lucy Connolly has passed on to Marco Rubio. He's now reviewing it. This is catastrophic for Ken Starmer. So apparently it is over in England. And so now they're posting different things that happened that people didn't get sentenced for. For example, someone named Jarek Brzozowski sexually abused a 15-year-old girl at a party in his home in which she and her friends were violated, our safe word for that R word, by other men. Today, he was sentenced to a 21-month prison sentence, suspended for 2 years. That means 0 days in jail. Lucy Connolly got 10 months more for a tweet. Let's see. Lucy Connolly is riding in a British jail, sentenced to 31 months for an off-color X post. Meanwhile, Imam Muhammad Abdullah Shakir, speaking at the Greenwich Islamic 3 weeks after October 7th atrocities, he calls for Allah to grant victory over the enemy, curse the infidels, destroy their homes, scatter them, purify and protect the Alaks from the usurper Jews. He was not jailed, didn't stand trial, was not arrested or even spoken to. Plymouth, and this is in Plymouth, lifeguard Benjamin Lilly, 34, who secretly filmed young girls undressing in changing rooms and attempted to engage girls in sexual activity, was walked free. His devices show he committed similar crimes over 8 years. Lucy Connolly, 31 months in prison. So, obviously, this is a kind of a crazy thing. There's other people talking about this on various things here. And here's how crazy it is. BBC audience cheers on Lucy Connolly being sentenced to 31 months for inciting racial hatred when an audience member asked why she got a longer sentence than grooming gang rapist. Here it is.
We are indeed in the midst of a prison crisis. However, Lucy Connolly will spend more time in prison than some of the men convicted in the Telford grooming gang scandal. What does it say that the justice system wants to punish tweets more seriously
than actual
child
crimes?
Maybe if we could look at that, we might be able to address the number of people.
That's a misconception of what took place.
No, it's not.
Lucy Connolly's case.
No, it's not.
She was somebody who was inciting racial hatred during a period. Now, I would strongly recommend you read the judge's sentencing. The sentencing from the judge will have been following
tweet that she
a particular set of guidelines.
She got 31 months in prison,
point, which then considers aggravating features to come out at the answer. Nobody has put that woman in prison longer because of a tweet, but because of what she did, how she did it, and when she did it. So it's really important that you educate yourself on that before you say something like that.
Oh, nice little scold there. They're justifying it. I'm sorry. It's still a tweet. She took it down and apologized for it. 31 months in prison. Labor MP has signed my parliamentary motion on Lucy Connolly. Mary Glendon, MP, thank you, Mary. It's an issue far more important than any party politics. If you agree that Lucy Connolly should not be in prison, please ask your MP to sign this motion. Let's see what this says. That this House notes with concern the continued imprisonment of Lucy Connolly, a young mother for a nonviolent offense, recognizes that the UK prison system is facing unprecedented overcrowding. Further notes that the use of custodial sentences for nonviolent offenders, particularly primary carers, undermines family stability, disproportionately affects children, and is often counterproductive in reducing reoffending. Believes that prison should be reserved for those who pose a serious risk to the public, and calls on the government to urgently review sentencing practices, expanding the use of community-based alternatives to ensure limited prison spaces prioritized for dangerous and violent offenders, not young mothers like Lucy Connolly. Yeah. And look, even if what she did actually incited violence, and she did not commit the violence, and so put the people in prison who committed the violence. So a lot of people talking about this, especially in the UK. Several things here, so you can look that up yourself. It'll be in the links today. Some news stories that are happening. We had this shooting at the Israeli embassy the other day. Well, now another, in this case, a woman has been shot by security guards after failing to stop at a gate at CIA headquarters. Security guards at the CIA headquarters in McLean, Virginia, shot and wounded a woman on Thursday morning after she failed to stop at the gate, CBS News has reported. The woman was transported to the hospital with what law enforcement officials describe as a non-fatal gunshot wound to her upper body. The woman who crashed into the gate was identified as 27-year-old Monia Spadaro. According to NBC News, in 2021, Spadaro was found guilty of driving under the influence. So was she drunk this time too? Anyway, there was a security incident that law enforcement responded to outside CIA headquarters. CIA spokesman told the news. The main gate is currently closed. Employees should seek alternative routes. Additional details will be made available as appropriate. So, again, they're probably on high alert in DC for this kind of shit. And, you hope the woman recovers, but I'd sure like to know what the hell she was doing. What the hell were you thinking, woman? Huh? What were you thinking? Let's see. Oh, I'll bring this one up and then I'll get back to some trending stuff. Harmeet Dillon has told Tucker Carlson that Department of Justice lawyers had crying sessions after Trump's 2024 win. What? Maybe because they knew they'd probably get fired. Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, told Daily Caller News Foundation that co-founder Tucker Carlson Wednesday during a podcast that the Department of Justice lawyers held a crying session after Donald Trump won the election. Following Trump's November win, Democrats and media pundits quickly melted down over the president securing a second term. Appearing in the Tucker Carlson show, Dillon told Carlson how Trump's anti-discrimination and anti-DEI agenda catalyzed hundreds of lawyers to quit the Civil Rights Division. Wait, they quit because you informed them of the law? Carlson added. Yes. Well, here, let's see. How long is this clip? Please be short.
Civil rights statutes.
Here we go. Let's just watch it.
That's the baseline. And then this is the president's agenda. These are his executive orders that he's put out there about anti-discrimination, about anti-DEI, about enforcing our laws equally. And that's the job. You are going to apply these statutes within the framework of anti-discrimination, even-handedly, and without fear of favor.
My gosh.
Wait. This catalyzed hundreds of lawyers.
That has to be just all for the idea that they need to apply laws evenly without discrimination. And they should, how did they respond? How did they respond to that?
And this catalyzed hundreds of lawyers to quit.
The
Civil Rights Division. So
what a bunch of bitches.
They quit because you informed them of the law?
Yes, and the law and the priorities. Their pet projects had changed. They weren't going to be able to do those the way that they wanted.
If they quit because of that, the immortal words of some boy band back in the day, bye, bye, bye. Fuck, get me gone. Hello, Miss Wild Wolf. And Anna Lynn, too. How you doing? Roasted Opinions. All kinds of people showing up now. Welcome to the show, everybody.
So they thought that this part of the Department of Justice was just immune to democracy?
It has
like
been.
Elections just had no bearing on this?
It has been. I mean, there were career lawyers there who were doing the same thing, no matter who's the president. And so suddenly,
they need to fuck right
little
off.
fiefdom that had remained untouched, like Shangri-La, was suddenly having to be responsive to elections. And so
that's the definition of the deep state, what you just described.
It really
Elections
is.
have no effect. It's like there's no way to control these people. They act totally independently from the democratic system. I mean, that's the problem, right?
Well, that's what I found. And so,
Yeah, look, granted, you're enforcing or you're trying to basically enforce the law through litigation, whatnot, in the Justice Department. But isn't your job also to do it within the priorities of the administration that is your fucking boss? Granted, you got to do things within the law, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to actually come back to the law rather than have, little, well, if you're on this side, you get this kind of treatment, and if you're on that side, you get this kind of treatment, whatever. It's just dumb. Hello, Blue-Eyed Scream. What's up?
In response to my memos, of course, they began leaking to the press. They began having unhappy hours, which they would invite supervisors, political supervisors to make the point that they were unhappy. We got the point. And
unhappy
hours sessions, struggle sessions, crying sessions in the DOJ.
They cried?
Oh, there was open crying in the halls. Crying? Yes.
There's no crying in baseball.
One of my colleagues described to me, it was the last day a couple of weeks ago for some of them. They lined up in a phalanx and approached the elevator together, and then they left the building together, to show their solidarity for one another. As if
they're so dramatic.
These are 30, 40, and 50-year-old
bitches,
career attorneys in the Department of Justice. So.
They're a bunch of bitches. Yeah. And I don't mean that as a derogatory name for females. I mean they're little bitches, not, you know what I'm saying.
Come from the private sector, as you know. Over 30.
Yeah, FTG to all of those motherfuckers. Good. They need to be gone if that's really, they had a temper tantrum over, here's the priorities we want to think about. All right, let's move on to some other stuff and just get through this because we need to get to Friday Q&A. iPhones are trending. Apparently, Donald Trump is pissed off the world because, or at least the left, because he's talking about, he says, I long informed Tim Cook of Apple that I expect their iPhone that will be sold in the United States of America will be manufactured and built in the United States, not India or anyplace else. If that is not the case, a tariff of at least 25% must be paid by Apple to the U.S. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So they're saying, oh my God, they expect to pay 25% more for your iPhones. Well, first of all, no, that's not how tariffs work. See, tariffs aren't a tax on on the retail price of your iPhone. They're on the how much it costs them to make an iPhone, which is about $17. So a 25% tariff on an iPhone is going to be about $9 or $6, whatever, $7, whatever that is. 6 4, yeah, roughly. 6, yeah, or $5.50 roughly. So yeah, and look, Apple might have to eat that to stay in the, in business than with Samsung. This is a distraction. This is Donald Trump trying to push an agenda, just like he did with the other tariffs. And I'm not going to be really concerned about it, but just some of the comments that people make about it. Trump is not just at war with Apple over iPhones, but with Harvard too, an institution without which they won't even have another Apple or Facebook. He will only stop when their IH headquarters move out of America too. Now is the time India should get together with the European Union to end the dollar monopoly, hit them where it matters, and soon there will be no tariffs. Where's this person from? This is probably not an American, but that's so a lot of their solution is destroy the biggest consumer market in the world, where you would normally sell your shit anyway. So I don't know. So yeah, President Trump threatens 25% tariff on Apple phones if iPhones are not made in the U.S. Now, this is interesting. Gavin Newsom is calling. Oh, what's this? California will phase out. What is this? California announced. Governor Newsom. California will phase out gasoline-powered cars and drastically reduce demand for fossil fuel in California's fight against climate change. Now, when was this? This is old. This has got to be old. I think he's backing off on this a little bit. Let's see what this is from. Following the order, the California Air Resources Board will develop regulations to mandate that at 100% of in-state sales of new passenger cars and trucks. Oh, this is from a while back. This ain't gonna happen. This is not gonna happen. People will just go outside of California to buy their cars. That the people who can. And then the other people would just end up using used cars forever because you can't force people to fucking buy stupid shit that they don't want. Hello, Midnight Nexa, by the way, and Evan S. Welcome. But that has nothing to do with Apple. So anyway, because of that, Tim Cook from Apple's trending, which, some of the MAGA people are excited about. I am kind of done talking about the tariff bluster. If he can get Tim Cook to make more phones in the United States, more power to us and to the people who get jobs because of it. A lot of this stuff, though, if you really think about it, how does it actually affect your day-to-day life? I mean, people just losing their fucking minds over the shit that's said on the internet. Right now, gas prices are down compared to prior years. We have the lowest gas prices over Memorial Day weekend since 2001, adjusted for inflation. Things are going okay. We'll see if any of this actually starts to affect us in negative ways. Certainly, the Apple stock went down a little bit over the weekend, which is also trending. Laura Loomer, Rise and Shine, Tim Cook's showing Donald Trump's tweet. This just in, Donald Trump blasted Apple CEO Tim Cook, warning that if they continue to manufacture iPhones in India instead of the United States, he'll impose a 25% tariff on them. Trump wrote on Truth Social, I've long, okay, they're just retweeting the tweet, get in line, Tim Apple. And that Tim Apple is trending too, because once Trump called him Tim Apple, because he rather than doing a Joe Biden, he just probably was thinking about Apple and Tim Cook and said Tim Apple. So we'll see where that goes. iPhones are way too expensive anyway. So, and I am an iPhone owner, but from 3, 4, whatever they made the 13 is when the last time I bought an iPhone. Let's see, and then Apple stock dropped 2.58% today. Let's see if we can redo this. Has it gone down anymore? Apple is 2.54% today. So there you go. It's made a slight recovery since the opening bell. Let's go on. 50% tariff. Oh, there's also he's talking about imposing a 50% tariff on all EU exports to the U.S. Starting June 1st. Now, I don't even know why this is happening. The UK, however, thanks to leaving, is still at 10%. So as this person saying, thanks Brexit, he says the European Union, which was formed for the primary purpose of taking advantage of the United States on trade, has been very difficult to deal with. Their powerful trade barriers, VAT taxes, ridiculous corporate penalties, non-monetary trade barriers, monetary manipulations, unfair and unjustified lawsuits against American companies, and more have led to a trade deficit with the U.S. of more than $250 million a year, a number which is totally unacceptable. Our discussions with them are going nowhere. Therefore, I am recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting on June 1st, 2025. That doesn't look, I'm about to travel to the European Union, but I guess I'll be there before June 1st. We'll see what happens to the dollar exchange rate. There is no tariff if the product is built and manufactured in the U.S. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I don't know why he has somebody who writes these tweets for him. But anyway, how are people taking this just in? After years of trade barriers, VAT, blah, blah, blah. So they're just repeating what Trump said. Laura Loomer, Trump just announced a 50% tariff on the European Union, breaking the stock market plunges after President announces 50% tariff on the European Union effective June 1st, 2025, stating our discussions with them are going nowhere. Plunges, the Dow's down 1.15%. They're going to tell you the 470 number, but it's still, it's only 1%. By the dip again, I would say so. So we'll see where that goes to. I'm sure it's again. He seems to be using tariffs as a negotiating tool, and he wants the talks to go somewhere. And he's like, well, it's not going anywhere. Let's reimpose something. So we'll see where it goes. I'm not going to panic. So that's why the European Union and EU are trending. By the way, speaking of the EU, where's that one I saw earlier? Here it is. The EU just banned elections in Romania. Supposedly, they arrested and banned Marine Le Pen. They persecuted all these basically every Trump ally in Europe. And what a frozen day in hell it is if the CIA's flagship media arm can keep everything we paid for and then serve a new master, the EU, against the U.S. Yeah, the fact that they nullified the Romanian election and then made him do it again until someone won that they liked, it's to hell with the EU. I mean, I don't know, man. Let's see. So we're back to giving our fish to the EU and paying budget contributions to do so. It's like giving away. Okay, this is someone who's from. Where are they from? Disillusioned Englishman, ex-player, former 10-year president of the leading rugby club. Anyway, the EU is mainly trending because of Trump and these proposed tariffs. Now, this is funny too. Here's Cynthia Holt. I don't know who she is, but apparently they don't like her tweets. She got a message that says, "Hello, we have received a complaint regarding your account, Ghost of Cynthia, for the following content," which is this tweet. In accordance with applicable law, X is now permanently withholding the reported content in the EU, specifically for the following legal grounds: defamation and insult, which I'm sure it's mostly just an insult. For more information on our country withheld content policy, please see this page, blah, 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 blah. So somebody in the EU complained about one of her tweets because they were insulted. And, thankfully she's not there in person, so they could take her to jail. So there you go. All right. Greenland is also trending again. Greenland, speaking of the EU, just signed a mineral deal with the European Union, which people are celebrating. Oh, it's a stick in the eye to Donald Trump. Whatever. And also, someone says, why has it taken so long, but better late than never? Time for the rest of the world to do the same, even China. Here's what they're celebrating. What does this say?
I have some breaking immigration news that I never imagined would be possible.
Okay, what is this?
European countries and Canada just issued a travel warning for the United States. Countries like Germany, Canada, Finland are warning their citizens against traveling to the U.S.
Okay, for what?
The risk of arbitrary detention. Experts estimate that tourism to the U.S. will tank by $22 billion. So my question to you is this. If Europe and Canada are warning their citizens against traveling to the U.S., Do you really think this is the right time to risk traveling internationally if you have a green card or a visa in the U.S.? Let me know in the comments below.
You're retarded. But you know, that's what I think. Anyway, congratulations to Greenland for showing Trump how it's really done. Negotiate with friends. Do not bend the knee to want to be dictators or try to strong arm others into situations they abhor. So anyway, they signed where the hell is it? Oh my God! Greenland just humiliated Trump by signing a mineral deal with the European Union. Greenland's minerals was why the Trump regime was so hell-bent on taking over the country. Countries around the world are increasingly telling the corrupt con man to go fuck himself. Yeah. So there you go. Greenland signs lucrative mineral deal with Europe in a blow to Trump. See, it's so funny. Any news that they get, they have to refer to it as whether or not it's good for Trump or not. My guess is Greenland signs lucrative. Let's see if we can find the Newsweek article. Greenland is being forced to make any deal based on Trump's military threats is not a win for Greenland. They were forced to do it. Even if this were a choice, they would have done it a long time ago. Still happy that Trump lost and looks like a failure over it, though. Wow. This is some Canadian saying that. I'm trying to find someone who talks about this that is a little more neutral and not so excited. Let's see. Well, I'm not going to find it, but and I'm not going to open up Newsweek for this. No one gives a shit about Greenland. Well, we do, because they do. They supposedly have a large reserve of minerals that could be very well useful for all the technological stuff that we're doing now. By the way, good morning, Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. And Puffer Smiles. What's up? All right, let's move on. And also Harvard, Trump's still fighting with Harvard. Harvard refuses to hand over disciplinary records relating to foreign students, which is a violation of the regulations governing access to government's SEVP program and SEVIS systems for schools' intake of foreign students and researchers. So now they lose. Simple. So apparently, because they're not complying with something, this is from the Department of Homeland Security. I'm writing to inform you that effective immediately, Harvard University Student and Exchange Visitor Program certification has been revoked. Oh, Lord. As I explained to you in my April letter, it is a privilege to enroll foreign students, and it is also a privilege to employ aliens on campus. All universities must comply with the Department of Homeland Security requirements, including reporting requirements under the Student and Exchange Visitor Program regulations, to maintain this privilege. As a result of your refusal to comply with multiple requests to provide the Department of Homeland Security pertinent information while perpetuating an unsafe campus environment that is hostile to Jewish students, promote pro-Hamas sympathies, and employ racist diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, you have lost this privilege. The revocation of your Student and Exchange Visitor Program certification means that Harvard is prohibited from having any aliens or F or J non-immigrant status for the 2025-2026 academic school year. This decertification also means that existing aliens or F or J non-immigrant status must transfer to another university in order to maintain their non-immigrant status. So they're playing hardball with Harvard University. Holy shit. I was not expecting this. This action should not surprise you, and is the unfortunate result of Harvard's failure to comply with the simple reporting requirements. On April 16, 2025, I requested records pertaining to non-immigrant students enrolled at Harvard University, including information regarding misconduct and other offenses that would render foreign students inadmissible or removable. On April 30th, 2025, Harvard's counsel provided information that he represented as responsive to my request. It was not. As a courtesy that Harvard was not legally entitled to the acting DHS General Counsel, responded on my behalf and afforded Harvard another opportunity to comply. Harvard again provided insufficient response. Consequences must follow to send a clear signal that Harvard and all universities that want to enjoy the privilege of enrolling foreign students, that the Trump administration will enforce the law and root out the evils of anti-Americanism and anti-Semitism in societies and campuses. Now, I don't like that line. That sounds, I agree with it, but I don't like it. It's like, you'd think Harvard would do that themselves, but the fact that they have people who are willing to start campus shit would make it render a visa null and void should be concerning to everybody. So here they continue. If Harvard would like the opportunity of regaining student and exchange visitors program certification before the upcoming academic school year, you must provide all the information requested below within 72 hours. Be advised that providing materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent information may be subject you to criminal prosecution under 18 U.S.C. 1001. Other criminal and civil sanctions may apply. So here's what the Department of Homeland Security is asking for from Harvard University. Number one, any and all records, whether official or informal, in the possession of Harvard University, including electronic records and audio or video footage regarding illegal activity, whether on or off campus, by non-immigrant students enrolled at Harvard University in the last 5 years. Number two, any and all records, whether official or informal, in the possession of Harvard University, including electronic records, audio or video footage regarding dangerous or violent activity, whether on or off campus, by a non-immigrant student enrolled at Harvard in the last 5 years. Number three, any and all records, whether official or informal, in the possession of Harvard University, including electronic records and audio or video footage regarding threats to other students or university personnel, whether on or off campus, by a non-immigrant student enrolled in Harvard University in the last 5 years. Number four, any and all records, whether official or informal, in the possession of Harvard University, including electronic records and audio or video footage regarding deprivation of rights of other classmates or university personnel, whether on or off campus, by non-immigrant students enrolled at Harvard University in the last 5 years. Number five, any and all disciplinary records of all non-immigrant students enrolled at Harvard in the last 5 years. And number six, any and all audio or video footage in the possession of Harvard University of any protest activity involving a non-immigrant student on a Harvard University campus in the last 5 years. Now, the last one, I cringe at the last one. It's okay. If they're in a protest, I don't care. It's what if they're calling for death to America or supporting a terrorist group or whatever, or blocking access to campus by other students, then fuck them. They can go their ass home. But the way they have it written, that just sounds like, well, if they were part of a protest, well, I don't care if they were part of a protest. It depends if they did illegal activity or things that would make their visas null and void. But anyway, they're not fucking around with Harvard anymore, apparently. And, if they can do it to Harvard, they can do it to anybody. Now, some might say, oh, this is so fascist. Or maybe they're just trying to enforce the law. Who knows? So, for example, the Muslim Brotherhood has transformed our universities into battlegrounds against Jews. Harvard today resembles a Palestinian recruitment center more than an academic institution. It's time to ban them, just as the UAE wisely did. Interesting, because Muslim Brotherhood does a lot of fun. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily strictly the Muslim Brotherhood, but certainly, Qatar has been funding a lot of elite universities in the United States. There's a whole bunch of stuff in this thread you can scroll through. But did everyone in chat fall asleep? I don't know. They might have. I'm pretty boring. All right. Let me give you a few of the headlines that I have and other stuff, and also the aggregator will be in the aggregator will be in the links today. I'm not going to get too deep into these, but as we said yesterday, Trump's big beautiful bill gets House approval. I'm not excited about it. Two dissenting Republicans voted against it. One was Thomas Massey. Who is the other one? 2 Republicans voted against it, and Thomas Massie voted against it for the same reason. I think everyone should have voted against it. It's not all that beautiful, and it doesn't reduce spending. And so there, I said it. I disagree with Trump on something for all of those people who might come through here and saying, "Oh, are you a MAGA cultist?" Well, no, I'm not. I agree that they need to cut more spending out of the so-called big, beautiful bill, but Donald Trump seems to be happy with it. To me, it's just another omnibus bill that they didn't get to read until late in the night. Some of the priorities, I'm glad they're extending tax cuts. There's certain things that are there that people are gnashing teeth about that are just bullshit, but I'm not happy with it. So that's my personal opinion. The Daily Caller, here's the 2 Republicans who voted against Trump's big, beautiful bill and why. Obviously, one was Thomas Massie. Republican Representatives Thomas Massie of Kentucky and Warren Davidson of Ohio joined House Democrats in opposing the president's signature legislative package, citing concerns about the deficit impact of the bill. And that's what we should be concerned about. Way to go, guys. A White House statement of administrative policy released Wednesday suggested that voting against the legislation continues the ultimate betrayal. It's a principled stand on the bill's deficit spending. It's still passed. So anyway, there's a whole story about that. You can read it. This is interesting in Issues and Insights. Everyone should rejoice because this douchebag is predicting a recession. Now, who is this douchebag? Do you know who he is? That would be Paul Krugman. Isn't he a Nobel Prize winning economist? He's a douchebag. He always predicts recessions when he always predicts doom and gloom during Republican administrations. He always predicts sunshine and roses when Democrats are in the White House. So anyway, but he's usually wrong. Let's see. We are very probably looking at a global recession with no end in sight, Paul Krugman said in November 2016. Also, he said Joe Biden will eventually preside over a soaring morning of America type recovery in 2020. And he said slower growth is certain for 2025. I see little or no GDP growth, rising unemployment, and persistent inflation. That's what he said just this month. So if Paul Krugman says it, the opposite will likely happen. There's a whole article on his predictions here. And then finally, the last 2 things I have open. One, Amazon CEO Andy Jassy says Trump's tariffs have not impacted prices or consumer demand yet. I didn't know he was the Amazon CEO. Who the hell is that? Hello, Jethro Hedor, by the way. He said that he has not seen significant changes in average selling prices on consumer spending habits during Trump's policy. Now, granted, it would seem that some of the tariffs would take a while to go into effect as far as current prices, because the stuff that you're buying now, they bought 6 to 8 months ago. And I know that just because I work at UPS. But, still, they're not seeing any real spike in any serious prices or whatever. And then the other, finally this one, apparently a Colorado Christian camp is going to be possibly losing their license because Colorado's becoming more and more fucked up because they're not letting trans-identifying boys bunk with girls. A Christian camp that has been running for more than 70 years may lose its license for not complying with Colorado's new LGBT mandates for sex-specific facilities. Id Rahel Hajj, a cherished Christian camp in Colorado, faces a potential shutdown after its refusal to comply with the state's gender ideology policies. Nestled in the scenic mountains of Bailey, a town 30 miles southwest of Denver, with less than 10,000 residents, Id Rahel has been serving children of ages 6 to 17 since its founding in 1948 through various programs such as summer camps, off-site backpacking, and camping trips. The camp's name comes from the hymn I'd Rather Have Jesus and reflects a commitment to Christianity. However, in fact, its mission is to win souls for Jesus Christ, blah, 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 blah. It's a Christian camp, and they have their rules. And apparently, Let's see, the camp states in its doctrinal statement that God has immutably created each person as either male or female in his image, emphasizing that the differentiation of the sexes, male and female, is part of the divine image in the human race. By defining gender in terms of biological sex at birth, Idrahajé maintains that any area of camp that is segregated by gender will be segregated by biological sex, which that seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it? But the Colorado Department of Early Childhood regulates childcare facility, including residential camps like Idrahajé, and conducts annual inspections for compliance. This year, the CDEH established a new regulation mandating resident camps provide access to restrooms, showers, dressing areas, and sleeping facilities that correspond with the camper's gender identity, which is, self-diagnosed, rather than their biological sex. This means while using female facilities, a girl may face a biological boy identifying as a transgender female. You would hope parents wouldn't send them to a Christian camp, but so because they are not wanting to comply with that, they could lose their license to even run a camp after 70 years. FTD to state of Colorado for that, and that's it. So I didn't open many more other articles today because it is Friday. We do Friday Q&A. In fact, let me say this. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for everyone's favorite part of the week, Friday Q&A. There we go. So thank you, everyone, by the way, who's here. 24 people, 13 likes. Hit the like button, and we're going to go do some Friday Q&A. First question of the day on Friday Q&A. Sounds like they need a gay camp. Yeah, or something. If you want to have queer camp, go open queer camp and let people sleep wherever the fuck they want. This is a Christian camp that's 70 years old. It has uses the English dialect of normal, and fuck off, state of Colorado. All right, first question on Friday Q&A, which made me chuckle because I am not sure what this is in reference to, but the question is from Advocatus Diabli, who says, can penguins even be trusted? No. A penguin will knock you off the ice into the water in a heartbeat. They cannot be trusted. So there you go. Advocatus Diabli asks, you aren't going to come back from Spain as one of the Moorish sovereign citizens, right? Though it might be entertaining if you did. Maybe you should. No, I don't even know what that means. I don't. Moorish sovereigns. No, I'm not. No. I am an American, and I will abide by Americans' laws and traditions. Advocatus Diabli asks, if the Wienermobile 500 this weekend, who are you rooting for? The Wienermobile 500? I have never heard Wiener. Wait a minute, hang on. How do you spell that? Wiener, W-E-I-N, W-E-I-N-E-R, Mobile 500. Because isn't this the Daytona 500s this week, right? Wienermobile 500. Okay, here it is. The inaugural Weenie 500 featuring Oscar Mayer iconic Wienermobiles is set to take place on Friday, May 23rd at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This unique event will see all 6 Wienermobiles racing on the same track for the first time in over a decade, each representing a different regional hot dog style. The race will be streamed live on the Fox Sports app. And blah, blah, blah. The Wienermobiles participating in this race include Shy Dog, representing the Midwest, New York Dog, representing the East, Slaw Dog, representing the Southeast, Chili Dog, representing the South, Seattle Dog, representing the Northwest, and Sonoran Dog, representing the South, or the Northwest, and this is Southwest. My money is on the Chicago dog. Thank you, because the Chicago dog is the best dog. Although I love me a chili dog too. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Just what I needed. All right. Do those things have grills in them? I don't know. I've never, I don't know what is in those. There was one here in the Twin Cities for a while, but I never actually got to go on it. It'd make a cool food truck if you're selling wieners at the park, though. Okay, moving on. Avocados Diabli asks, if you worked at a bank and a raccoon walked in with a gun and demanded that you empty the drawers, would you take them seriously? I'd whoop that raccoon's ass, because first of all, a raccoon doesn't have a hand big enough to pull the trigger, so kiss my ass, raccoon. JB asks, cake or pie? That's very tough, because if it's a really good cake, I love me some cake. But if it's just saying, hey, should we go get a cake or a pie? I absolutely would go get a pie. Probably a cherry pie, possibly blueberry, possibly strawberry rhubarb, or coconut cream. Ha! Give me some coconut cream pie. I love that. Avocados Diablo asks, on an unrelated note, do you think I could train a group of raccoons to hold up a bank for me? Yeah, no. I don't think so, because how would they communicate with the teller? Just be a raccoon with a bunch of guns standing there looking like an idiot. Avocados Diabli, have you never gotten drunk with a chicken before? You know, what was that day called? It was called National Drinking with Chickens Day. No, I've never gotten drunk with a chicken before. Although, you know, I think some neighbors up the street are thinking about putting a chicken thing in their backyard, and maybe we should go try getting drunk with chickens. I don't know. I'm guessing that chickens can't hold their liquor, though, so fuck them birds. Somnambule Nation asks, remind me, when is reverse circumcision day? Must be in one of the longer months. Yeah, that's, where are they going to do that? Like, oh my God, I can't believe I was going to ask that. How would they do it? Would they just, like, you know, how they do with the people who want to be trans men, women who want to be men, and they cut out a part of their arm to create a penis? Would they just cut some skin off your arm or something? Hello, free breather, by the way. Do I live in Ethiopia or Somalia, Minnesota? I live in, like, Catholicville. Our little suburb has 3 gigantic Catholic churches, and they send a lot of them send their kids to the Catholic schools around here. But no, Ethiopia. I'm not sure where Ethiopia is. I think that's in no, not Ethiopia. It's Sudan. That's Mankato, and then Somalia is basically the 5th district of Minneapolis. Although we do have a few Somalians out in Apple Valley too, which is south of the Twin Cities. But yes, the Sudanese there's a ton of them in Mankato, and frankly, the Sudanese people are super nice. Everyone I've met has been super cool, and I guess some of the Somalians are too. I just don't know a whole lot of them, but yeah, and I'm not Ethiopia. I'm not sure if there's a lot of Ethiopians in the Twin Cities or not. Maybe that's St. Cloud. I'm guessing. Anyway, yeah, I don't live in any of those. I live in Catholic Minnesota. All right, let's see here. Where is this? Where was that? Oh, there we go. Did I skip a question here? That's it, because free breather, you put the question in the wrong section, and how did I happen to catch that? Okay, there you go. Anyway, all right, back to the questions. Somnambule Nation, I like mine better. What does that mean? Oh, the next question, and then it says, disregard I like mine better. Fuck up, please. Question boxes are complicated, apparently. Okay, thank you. At least you clarified quite quickly. Lord Stanhope asks, what is it? Take the time here. Okay. What is it when you go for a doctor's appointment, they tell you to come a half hour earlier, yet still make you wait an hour past your actual appointment time? Okay, I'm gonna say it. Why is it? Why is it when you go to, I don't usually have that problem. Like, for example, when I went to my orthopedic guy, you know, when I had my hip replaced, and I got to have the other one replaced pretty soon. You go 10 minutes early and they get you right in on time. But he was good at staying on schedule. Now, why is it that happens? Because some of them just don't give a shit about your time anyway. So there you go. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Lord Stanhope asks, would it be easier for you to live without catsup or hot sauce for the rest of your life? I could... Shit. I pretty much already live without ketchup in my life. I pretty much put hot sauce on my eggs every day, and I eat eggs every day. Yeah, ketchup can go, because I can eat fries without ketchup. I can eat a hamburger without ketchup. I can eat a hot dog without ketchup, because if you put a hot dog on ketchup, then you're, well, you have problems. But yeah, I could easily go without ketchup for the rest of my life. That's very simple. Okay, where are we at here? Annalyn asks, how many add another ounce stamps do I need to mail a regular letter? You don't. I think isn't a letter up to, well, I mean, let's see here. Add another ounce stamps. Yeah, because a regular letter, like a regular stamp, goes up to what, 14 ounces or something like that, or up to, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know, because I don't know what letter you're sending. You said a regular letter. I don't know. Anyone have an answer for Annalyn? All right. Avocados Diabli asks, how much would someone have to donate for you to spend your entire time over in Spain wearing a T-shirt that says Muhammad was a homo? Wow. How much would someone have to donate for me to spend your entire time in there? See, I don't know. Has Spain been inundated with the immigrants like in England and Ireland and most of the great British states, and France has been? I don't know if Spain, you don't hear about it as much as Spain. You hear about it in France. You hear about it in, especially like London. London may as well be, you know, I wouldn't say little Somalia, but you know what I'm saying. Wait, chomo, not homo? Wait a minute. Is that supposed to be chomo? I thought it was just someone trying to say Muhammad was a chomo. Oh, you meant chomo. I thought you were just like getting around the YouTube censorship and chat censorship. What is a chomo? I don't even know what a chomo is. But anyway, I don't know. It would have to. My concerns is how much immigration has affected Spain. Oh, YouTube does not censor you. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. Just start chipping in and see where that goes, because no, we have no sponsors today. So there you go. Okay. Oh, it's a question. Starts with, have you ever woken up? Buckle up, people. Oh, kid toucher. Oh, is that what that is? Yeah. You know what? Start throwing money in. I'll tell you when. I'll tell you when. And we'll have to find that shirt. Okay. Avocados Diabli asks, have you ever woken up to discover you had crashed through the gates of the CIA headquarters while cosplaying as Sailor Moon? Well, no, but if that would have happened, it would have been because my wife was driving and she wouldn't have been able to find the CIA headquarters anyway, because she never knows how to get. The reason I drive in our family is because if she drives, we're going to be lost, guaranteed. All right, let's see. Lord Stanhope asks, what's a good cleaner to use to clean up a crime scene before anyone notices, out of both Fabuloso and Mistolen? I don't know what Mistolen is, but don't use Fabuloso. It has chemicals in it that can kill you. And actually, you know what? If you're cleaning up a crime scene, hydrogen peroxide, that is essential to clean up blood stains. And then, bleach is not the greatest either, because bleach doesn't actually destroy it'll clean up stuff, but it leaves a lot of residue, whereas hydrogen peroxide kind of makes the shit disappear. Why do I even know that? Never mind. Just don't listen to me on that. I don't know. Avocados Diablo asks, if we could reincarnate dead historical figures and have them fight to the death for our entertainment, what matchup would you mostly like to see? Oh, man. Genghis Khan's definitely in that fight. Probably versus... Oh, man. Who would be the most famous samurai warrior? That would be, could be some famous samurai versus Genghis Khan. That'd be something right there. That'd be fight to the death. I don't know how long it would last. Sometimes those. Okay, never mind. Okay, moving on. Okay, Lord Stanhope asks, as a fan of legendary bad music, and we love you for it, what artist's style of music is too terrible even for you? I'm sorry. Maybe someone could put some suggestions in the regular chat, but there's not too many types of music that I can't find a way to appreciate. Okay, I got it. I think I have a good answer for this. I'm not a big fan of child performers, prepubescent kids who sing and make pop songs and shit. The Jackson 5 was fine, but then when they started adding in all these other ones, I suppose when you're a kid, they're fine, but when you're an adult, it's just weird. New Edition, I was, close to being an adult when New Edition came out, and I was like, yeah, why do people like this? I don't know. It's just weird. All right. Oh, Kojiro. Yeah. Genghis Khan versus Kojiro. Ooh, that'd be huge. All right. Is that a real person though? Is that a real samurai warrior? I don't know. All right. Let's see, where are we at? Here we go. Let's see. Somnable Nation asks, Memorial Day barbecue food of choice. Okay, look, there's only one true barbecue food. Well, that's not true. I was going to say brisket's a true barbecue food, but for Memorial Day, it's definitely St. Louis cut style spare ribs, smoked with a nice, a real good rub, and some kind of sweet Kansas City style barbecue sauce is kind of where I'm at on barbecue food of choice for Memorial Day weekend. In fact, we used to do that on Memorial Day. On Memorial Day and 4th of July, we used to cook up a bunch of spare ribs. Lord Stanhope asks, what is your favorite hot sauce to bathe in for those times when you need to feel spicy? Well, look, I have not been known to bathe in hot sauce because, if that hot sauce gets inside your orifices, big and small, it might hurt pretty bad. But if it was just as far as eating, I have a bottle of Louisiana hot sauce up in the cupboard up there. I like Crystal hot sauce. Frank's Red Hot's okay. It's, if you're making true buffalo wings, Frank's Red Hot is it. But I do prefer Louisiana and Crystal. So I suppose if I had to bathe in one, I would choose the ones that are my favorites. Okay, where are we at? Avocados Diablo asks, if you were being chased by a giant Swedish meatball which had a chainsaw, what would be the best way to defend yourself? Well, with a fork. just eat away until that thing drops a chainsaw. All right. Lord Stanhope asks, what is your favorite country to patronize the services of Ladies of the Night? You know, I'm going to just tell you right now, that has never happened in my lifetime. I've never had an interest or an inkling to patronize a Lady of the Night because the thought of it is pretty gross to me, to be perfectly honest. I'm just like, if they're a little too much going on there, and usually they're kind of ugly anyway. So, and even if they were a hot Lady of the Night, I don't care. Too many deposits make you what's insufficiently funded from me. All right, next. Okay. Oh, I suppose if I had to pick a country, though, definitely not Thailand, because you never know what you're going to get. Let's see. If I had to pick maybe. Let's go Portugal. All right, next. Lord Santa, what's your favorite? Oh, that's it. Never mind. Lord Stanhope, as a professional bartender and amateur drunk, what spirits or wines do you feel deserve the moniker hangover fuel? Oh, God. I mean, hangover fuel is anything that has any kind of sweetness to it, like Southern Comfort. Oh, not only hangover, they'll make you puke. Hangover fuel, also cheap vodkas are definitely hangover fuel. If you're not paying for good vodka, you're going to have a hangover. You're buying the cheapest stuff, anything south of Smirnoff red is definitely going to get this hangover fuel. Definitely Screwball hangover fuel. I've never drank enough Screwball to get a hangover. I tend to drink moderately anyway. But yeah, the worst hangovers you're ever going to get are going to be on cheap ass vodka. All right, next, let's see. Harvard, Sovereign Noble Nation says Harvard beets are lima beans. It depends on what you're using them for. I suppose if just in general, maybe go with beets to make a nice beet salad. I don't know, because I can't eat cooked beets. Or overly cooked beets, I should say. Canned beets. Ugh, gross. All right, Avocado Stabby, have you ever recorded one of Hitler's speeches in an audio cassette and put it into a Teddy Ruxpin doll? I have not, but now you got me thinking. Lord Santa asks, what's for dinner tonight? Oh, so every once in a while, my wife pulls a recipe off of TikTok. There's this one funny guy who does recipes on TikToks that he made this pasta sauce out of pureed onions, which of all things, which is decent. It's a little sweet because yellow onions tend to, they caramelize and get a little too sweet. But I have some pasta that's left over that's probably going to be what's for dinner with that pasta sauce. It's already made. Avocado Stabby, are there really all that many trans kids lining up to go to a Christian camp? That was my point. They're probably not. So why they feel like why the state of Colorado feels they need to police that at a Christian camp, I don't know. It's kind of dumb, if you ask me. Where are we at? Okay, Lord Stanhope, will you have a good trip? Oh my gosh, yeah, we're gonna do some cool stuff. We're gonna go to, what's that? I always forget. Morocco. We're gonna take a ferry over to Morocco for a day and go to the markets there. What the hell is it? I always forget the name of the city though. Hang on, let's look that up. That's what we're gonna do on our last day. Tangier. We're gonna take a ferry from Tarifa. We're going to spend our last night in Spain, in Tarifa, Spain, and we're going to take a ferry over to Tangier just to see it, and then we go back and catch our flight. So that'll be cool. Plus, we're going to see this. I mean, look, the pictures in the thumbnail up here are of Gibraltar, the Rock of Gibraltar, because we're going to probably stop by there. We're going to, and then the other two pictures are Malaga, the town we're going to where the wedding is. And we're also going to spend 2 days in Barcelona just to, just to say we were there, and go to this there's a church that they're building in Barcelona. No, I'm sorry, Madrid. We're going to Madrid too. There's a church there that they've been building for over 100 years, and it's supposed to be spectacular. We're going to go check that out too. All right, I got to make this quick now. Okay, we got to do lightning round and the rest of the questions. Let's see this. Okay, I'm doing pretty good here. Okay, Avocado Diablo asks, while you are in Spain, are you going to check out Altamira Cave or any of the other sites that have prehistoric cave paintings? I'm not sure what we're doing specifically, but we're going to different places. If those are anywhere near Malaga, or Barcelona or Madrid or whatever the last town, what the hell's that town called? I know there's a place where you can go, or Tarifa, possibly, but I don't. It's not in the plan, so maybe not. But I do love going. I like, cave exploring, whatever. Going to caves. There's some pretty cool ones. Select a Boy asks, are Mutt and Jeff really gay? I didn't know there was a rumor. I have no idea. It's a possibility, I guess. I just never knew that. Lord Stand Up, while in Spain, won't you take a moment to spend in church? Yes, we are going to. We're in fact, we're going to tour one of this giant church that they're building. Miss Wild Wolf asks, if you had to choose between eternal peace or instant gratification, what would you choose? Oh, eternal peace. That's easy. Instant gratification. Pfft, I don't mind waiting for the good. Avocado Sablias, have you been paying any attention to the goings on in Balochistan, a nation Pakistan forcibly annexed in 1948 that is basically the southern half of the country that has declared independence? No, I'll have to look that up. I had no idea. I there hasn't been a whole lot of news about it, so we'll have to check that out if that's real. Ms. Wildwood asks, do you believe in a higher power or God? I do. I do. Although I'm not, even though I've grew up Episcopalian and we were in the Lutheran church when my kids were young, I'm not a church person, so to speak, but I do believe in that there's something that guides our life and created all there is. And it may be that we're only still in the seventh day, for all I know. I mean, if you think of the stretch of the universe, they say, Genesis, the Earth was in 7 days. Well, we still may be in the seventh day for all I know, because something as vast as a God that is over the entire universe, a day could take 20 millennia for all we know. So who knows? But there's something going on there. There's definitely an energy out there. Avocados Diabli, did you know that the original ketchup was not even tomato based, but was instead a sauce made out of fish? I had no idea. Did you know that you could make Bloody Mary mix out of peppers and not tomatoes? There's a guy that has a company like that. So yes, that certainly makes sense that it could be something else. JB asked, did you ever hear any of the Jerky Boys crank calls on YouTube? I.e., your daughter, she's come to my house and kicked my... now my dog needs... I don't know what that sentence is, but yes, I always thought the Jerky Boys were kind of funny, although I'm sure they'd be annoying as hell if they actually called your house. Avocados Diablo asks, does Spain even have ice shack hookers? Probably not. I don't know if they get a lot of ever get snow in Spain. Maybe in northern Spain, but the rest of it's all along the Mediterranean. Select Boy asks, why is it that folks in this country feel we should import more than we cultivate? I don't know. Well, we do it because other countries find ways to do it cheaper through basically slave labor in some places. And I think we definitely need to start making some of our own shit, because I don't trust other people to make our shit. Avocado Ciali asks, what beings, when frozen, would make the best projectile to fire from a 12-gauge shotgun. Lima beans. Lima beans. They're perfect size. Freeze them up. Boom. That would hurt like hell. Ms. Wildwolf asked, if you would have 3 wishes, what would they be? That's tough. Man. I would love to have perfect health. Like, just not have to worry about health so much. Not that I would want to live forever, though. I don't know that I'd want to outlive my kids, for example. Or I would probably wish perfect health on my family. And then, I don't know, the rest are more like, probably the third wish would be for infinite number of more wishes. So then you wouldn't have to worry about anything for a while. But I don't know what that second wish would be. Avocados Diablo asks, have you considered finding a gypsy woman while you are in Spain to remove the curse you have on you? Yeah, we've already scheduled that. Thanks. Avocados Diablo, while in Spain, will you go around yelling, long live France, just to see what they do? No, but we are going, I'm going to spend at least some time asking Spanish people what they think of the United States. That'll be interesting. At least that's an idea. Two questions left. Avocados Diablo asks, is this the final question before you abandon us for 2 weeks? Unfortunately, or fortunately for that matter, no, because there is one more question. And this is the last one I'm going to even read. JB asks, oh, that was one of the crank calls, LOL. The guy puts on an Indian accent and just messed with the dude. Oh, I got you. And you said Frank, and I said Franco, not France. Oh, it does say long live Franco, like Ferdinand Franco. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna go there. Anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'm thinking right now. I'm hoping that you have a wonderful 2 weeks without me. Actually, it's going to be 2 weeks and then a few days because we're gone for a total of 15 days. Francisco Franco. I'm sorry, not Ferdinand Franco. I will be back on Friday the 13th. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to be streaming in any other capacity. We may do a what do you call it? I guess you can't call it a trail stop stream because we won't be at the trail stop, but we are going to stream probably at least once or twice. And I am going to probably drop some videos of some of the shit we do while we're in Spain and our 1 day in Morocco. So just, I'll have stuff up. And if you'd be so kind to leave comments, leave likes, shit like that, that would be greatly appreciated because, I don't want the channel to die while I'm gone. So anyway, here come the links for the day's show. There's a few, and plus the aggregators on there. I tell you what, the aggregator on Ace of Spades blog is great. So here are the links. There we go. All right, and that's it. I got to go. They'll be in the description also. Have a wonderful couple weeks without me, and I'll see you sometime down the road, but definitely on Friday the 13th of June. Have a great couple weeks. I'm gone. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thanks for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.